because initially there would be comments that parents were not happy. Um, um, Things like they would insinuate that I'm a little bit unfriendly, which I thought they were not true, but I accepted them anyway. I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna work on it. I accept anything that they just tell me. Anyways, I'm just one person who never feels the necessity to defend myself. But because of that, they said that they'd appreciate if I'm a little bit more friendly towards kids. And I'm like, okay, cool. I think I am enough friendly, because it's also a difficult group of boys. So like boundaries need to be set and they need to be quite clear, because they can easily cross the boundaries and think they can get away with a lot of things. So that's why sometimes I would just come across as a little bit unfriendly. And I was assuming that parents were also picking up my unfriendliness, in quotation marks, from the videos, because no parent had been in my class at that time when I got those comments. So I just assumed that they would see like clips where maybe it's like one or two video that is taken in a day randomly whenever my Chinese teacher feels like taking a video. Because she, like, I'd never know when she's taking a video. Like, I'd never pay attention to that. Whenever she has time, because she's always busy as well. But she often feels like I'm not strict enough, and I'm just like, it's because of certain comments. Like, there's a parent, I was told, because I don't have any communication with parents. I was told that there's a parent who said the child is no longer looking forward to come to school. So she was comparing the child's behavior from the time that I arrived or the time I joined the school to what the child was like when there was a previous teacher before my arrival. So they said he's no longer looking forward to come to school. He doesn't show much interest about with coming to school. And I was just like, okay.
Sounds like they're blaming you.
Find it. Yeah, so I'm just like, is it, if the child is not looking forward to come to school, is it because they're not looking forward to be taught by me? Like, it just didn't make sense. But I was like, okay. Now I'm just like, 1 minute I try to be strict, but then I'll start to feel like, okay, maybe I'm being too strict at this point. And then I bring in some, leniency. And then she would feel like I'm not strict enough and I need to treat boys. Like, she keeps telling me that I need to treat boys a certain way and treat girls differently. To me, kids are kids. Obviously, I'd not treat boys the same way as girls, but like, kids are kids for me. They're equal. Apparently, I need to use like a soft tone when I'm talking to girls, but I'm like, my tone is determined by the child's behavior. If I'm going to tell you something 3-4 times and you do not show any reaction, then I switch up as well, so that the child understands the importance of what I am telling them. So I don't know. I'm just like, it's a whole behavior thing. And I feel like it takes up on my time when I'm teaching, because I have to stop for like 5 minutes and try to bring in order.
Wow, okay, that's serious. This is the first time I'm hearing something like this.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Hmm. So what have you tried so far? What have you tried to do in an attempt to resolve
Since
this?
in the well, when they told me about the kids that are not looking forward to come to school, I was just like, because I just joined the school, it was in March, and I was like, for me it makes sense, because I know how I used to feel when I had a new teacher. You're quite uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal for kids to be like, oh my goodness, they do not know me. I'm black, and apparently they had never had a black teacher before. So I was
Okay.
like, I would expect such behavior. It's not really puzzling for me. It's not something that I would be worried about too much. I was okay. I took into consideration what they were talking about, and I then developed something that we call a class meeting Friday. Towards the end of our day, my kids and I sit down and talk. We sit on the floor and we talk, and that's where I give them the opportunity to voice out what they are unhappy about, whether it anything that happens in class, whether it concerns the teacher, it concerns their peers in class, and we also review our classroom rules, and acceptable behaviors. and we point out if there's like things like maybe people are taking too long to line up. I also voice out what I don't like that they're doing. And if they've any reason for doing what they're doing, that's was one thing that I brought into my class. I was like, okay, let's talk about these things. For them to go home and say, oh, I don't like this, because my wish is that they would bring it up in class first before they even feel the need to go and tell their parents.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
and yeah, so I just felt like, okay, let's have an open line of communication. Say whatever you want to say. Tell us what you're not happy about. So we've, where we teach things, with like correct things with good behavior and bad behavior, what is acceptable, what is not, and the emphasis on our classroom rules and regulations. We review them regularly to make sure that we're all doing what is expected of us, and to make sure that they know what is expected of them. And I also know what they expect of me as their teacher. So that was one thing that I tried out. And also the point system is not really working in terms of, I know about rewarding behavior and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I
I
know
used to
about that
give
too.
stars. Yeah, I used to give stars, but I got to a point where I felt like they don't care whether they're 5 or 1 or no
So,
star
so,
at
so
all.
just to recap quickly, how old are the kids you're teaching again? How old are they? The student.
Now, okay, 5 to 6, but there's also like 7-year-olds. I don't
Okay,
know
so it's
how
five
in
to
a
six, but
garden.
there's
Yeah,
also 7-year-olds. Okay,
yeah.
I see. As
And it's mostly boys that are giving me a hard time. Girls, okay, but like it's a class that has we have previously we had like 5 girls
Mhm.
and 12 boys. Yeah.
So,
But
so
now
if I
there's more.
may ask, the class teacher, what does the class teacher do? Does the class teacher herself experience this kind of issue? With the boys and the girls, and having more issues with the boys, and this sort of class problem. Is the class teacher having this kind of issue? Have you asked her? Have you talked to the class teacher?
Okay, because I'm also a homeroom teacher.
Oh,
Well, I think she's a head teacher. Um, because she has the direct communication with the parents, which I do not have. So I'm
okay.
assuming the school fails at communication. The school has zero communication. So I never really know
That is
what is
always a
expected of
problem.
me, what's expected of her. But whenever she has anything to do, I've always told her to reach out to me. I'm willing to help her because I don't really know what the expectations are. The school fails at communicating anything. And
Yeah.
I'm the only foreign teacher at this point. So there's
Oh, okay.
0 point. I don't even know who to ask about certain things. There was another teacher before, but she left just after I had joined.
Oh,
Yeah, she left the school. Now I'm the only foreign teacher they have, and this is the only classroom that has a foreign homeroom teacher. All the other classrooms have Chinese teachers. So I'm in class. I'm stationed in my classroom, but I do go out as an ESL teacher for the other classes. I don't know. It works like that.
okay. So you're a homeroom teacher, but you also need to like
I'm a
teach other
Yeah, I'm a
classes.
homeroom
Oh, okay.
teacher, but I'm also a teacher. When my Chinese teacher is teaching my classroom, I have to
You
go
have
out
to go.
and
Okay.
teach the
Okay.
other classes. Yeah. So with her, she's always busy. She's always doing administration stuff,
Mm.
which I cannot help. But and even today, I knock off at 4:30. But sometimes I would ask her if she has anything to do after the kids had left, and
Okay. I see.
she's been telling me that, okay, I need to do a chart, or there's a special week coming up, we need to do artwork and stuff. So because I live close to the school, I'm just like, okay, cool, I don't mind helping you, bruh.
Mm.
As much as beyond my work hours, but I don't mind, because all the other teachers, they work as companions. I don't know if I'm making sense. There's
Yeah.
like two
Yeah.
Chinese teachers every class. She's the only one who has a foreign teacher. So
Yeah.
whenever they're
Okay.
working in pair, they work alone. So I've
Yeah.
extended myself to, okay, I don't want you to feel like, it's a curse to have a foreign teacher because she knocks off early and has to go home.
Okay.
I will help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with administration, I cannot help because it's in Chinese.
Yeah.
I cannot
And
read
and
what's
also
happening.
with communicating with the parents, it's usually in Chinese, so there's little we can do as
True.
ESL teachers to help with
That's
that.
so true.
Yeah.
I only help with the things, that I can help with. And
Mm.
so whenever I'm teaching, she'd be busy at her desk, working, compiling books, doing this, doing
If
that,
if I may
marking.
ask you, Nkole, when you have the session with the students where you sit with them to discuss the issues, what language do you use for your communication? How do you talk to the students? How do they how do you guys discuss? Is it English? Is it Chinese? Do you let them
I can
voice?
only speak English. I can't speak Chinese at all. So, and
I'm
there's
kind
that
of
too. I mean,
curious.
I've tried to explain to her that when she goes loud and she yells at the kids,
Hmm.
they quickly react because they understand the intensity of what should be saying.
Absolutely.
Whereas when I am doing a similar exercise,
In English, it
some
doesn't
kids
mean
don't
anything.
like they can't grasp half of the things I'm saying. They
Yeah,
just hear this woman who's yelling in their ears, but they
uh,
can't grasp, the
absolutely.
importance, vitality of what I'm actually telling them. So
Absolutely.
I've expressed this to her. I was like, I get it when you say I'm not strict enough, but I don't want to shout to a point where I'm losing my voice because the point is not for me to shout. The point is for the kids to understand the importance of what I'm telling them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how loud I am. I don't believe in being loud to get my point across. I believe in someone grasping,
Yeah, I understand.
the
So
need,
so
you know.
I have
So,
always had this philosophy, right? Like say it before it happens. Say if there's a problem, like if there's something going on, you have to say it before anything happens, before any big boom or big bang happens, like so for instance, if you're having issues with the kids and you need to tell the main
yeah,
room teacher, you need to say it before a big issue comes up. You don't wait for some catastrophe before you try to explain that, oh, like it's been 2 weeks and this kid hasn't done this and that. If there's some issue, you need to say it first. It's the same with administration. You need to let administration know what is going on before it happens. And it's also good, particularly with the kids, because I always say that this is what I believe. Like, good classroom
mm-hmm.
management or control is a good relationship. The best form of classroom control is a good relationship. If you build a good relationship with your kids or your students, it's so much easier to get them to do something. Obviously,
Yeah,
fear is one way to do that, and the Chinese teachers are really good with that. They'll shout, "Hey!"
yeah,
They'll say something, and it makes sense in Chinese. But if you do the same in English, it doesn't mean squat to the kids,
yeah.
and
It
and
doesn't
I'm sure you know
translate.
that because even if you
Yeah,
shout at the top of your voice, "Shut up!" What does "shut up" mean to the kid? It doesn't mean nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's
true.
not something they like hear every time and they know shut up means like teacher is angry and you should unless you do it several times and they get to know that, right? So
Yeah,
it's good, right, to let the kids know the rules beforehand. Especially as you're a homeroom teacher, I think that is good because you can have more control because you are with them more time, like more of the time in the day.
yeah,
So what you can do is maybe you can have a routine, right? Like whether it's
yeah,
every Monday or whether it's the beginning of the day, you know, just a quick brush through. Okay, hey guys, this is what is expected of you. And sometimes in situations like this, it's good not to impose, but rather come to a conclusion. Like you do that kind of discussion. During your
yeah,
discussion, your session, you can talk to them, say, hey, okay, let's agree, okay, guys, this is what is good, this is what is not good. Do you agree? They say yes. Okay, so if you do what is good, teacher must do this for you. Maybe give you a toffee, maybe give you a sticker, maybe find out what they would want. You can even ask them. Okay, the boys Ultraman stickers, something like that. And then you also say, if you do what is not good, what should I do to you? You can give me your suggestion. You let the kids say themselves. So that way, When they do what is good, they will ask you, okay, teacher, I did what is good. You have to do this for me. Cool, you do it.
Yeah.
When they do what is not good and then you come to collect, they understand, they know they're not going to be pissed off because they've already agreed to it that they're not supposed to do that. Right. So I
Yeah.
think it's one, like, just build some sort of relationship, right? Uh, Usually this whole idea has to do with leverage, okay? Like, leverage helps when you want to control someone, all right? And with the whole yelling thing, the leverage is that I'm the boss. I'm the person in the class. I'm the whole leader. Hey, you must do what I'm saying. That's the leverage there.
Yeah.
But then also another form of leverage is when they give up the control themselves, in the sense that you have come to an understanding. They say, okay, if I do this and it's not good, you have to do this to me. Like, that's the leverage right there. Okay. So when next time when you guys sit and have your discussion, okay, guys, what do you like? What do you